everyone. My name is Neetu Rishi. I'm the CEO and founder at The Success Store, where I work with middle schoolers and high schoolers and navigate them in their entrepreneurial and leadership journey. And nothing can inspire them better when we have somebody live with us, somebody who is a budding leader. Let's welcome Srijita. Hey Srijita, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to have you. It's just an honor. I mean, these kids, they are going to learn so much from you today. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, no problem.
A little about Srijita. She is one word that describes her best is amazing. I have known her from last could be 5 years, and her transformational journey from who she was and who she wanted to be, and she has become one. She has been a delegate with MUN. She was placed seventh in HOSA internationally. She's passionate about swimming, and she is very, very passionate about music. And we'll get to know more because she plays almost all the instruments, right? So let's start the talk show. Srijita, my first question. Tell us more about your journey throughout, now you're in high school, you're a junior in high school. Tell us about your journey in these last 3, 4 years.
Okay, so I guess I would say like when I was in middle school or like sixth grade, I was this very like shy, like weak, as in like I was really introverted. I didn't really know like how to speak to people, and I kind of stayed in like a little bubble. And I was really bad at like presentations, like all of that. I would stutter. I would be so nervous, and it was terrible. But then like I kind of went to Miss Rishi's like classes, and I also just tried to step out of my comfort zone. I did things that I liked, and I could see myself becoming more like, I guess, more just out there, and I would put myself out there, and I would do all these things just to make myself seen. So like fast forward to freshman year, my freshman year was online, so obviously I didn't really have that experience going into high school, but like I still, I was kind of just never out there, and I mean you can't really do much when you're online, but even then I joined all these clubs and like Model UN. I really liked doing all of that, and I liked it so much, so I would apply for these officer positions, and then fast forward next year where I'm the co-president of 3 different clubs. So I guess I could just see myself growing each year, just becoming more put out there, and I would like just do things that I loved, and throughout that you kind of grow and you just become better at speaking and better at like immersing yourself and making connections with other people.
Very nice. So you mean to say it's you who has to, you can get many coaches, you can get guidance, your parents can support you, but it's you who has to come out of that bubble, and that can help you to grow, right? So that is such a great message for our audience. If anybody wants to be a leader, you have to put efforts. Nothing comes easy. Now, my next question for you is, I'm sure our audience is keen to know about HOSA. What is it? Tell us more about it. How to participate in that?
Okay, so HOSA, it stands for Health Occupation Students of America, and it's basically a club for people interested in the healthcare field or medical field. So if you want to be a doctor, a nurse, anything, it's a great idea to join this club. And through this club, you just learn different like ways to be like a doctor. You learn how to like suture. You watch videos on like surgical procedures, and the main thing we have is competitions. So you select like a health topic and you compete in different levels, and each level you move on. So it's like regionals, and then you move to state, and if you move from state you move to internationals. So this year I was with a team, and we did a topic called health education. Basically you think of like a health topic, so we chose nutrition, and you put together a portfolio and you make like a lesson plan, and you teach it to like a selected audience that you want to learn the topic, and you kind of just figure out what they learned, and you look at the results, and you put it all together in this big massive portfolio, and you present all of that to a set of judges, and they grade you and like around 50 other people, and the top 3 they move on to state, and at state it's the same thing, the top 3 move on to internationals, and at internationals, which was actually last week, we got the chance and we placed 7th.
Yay!
So
Let's have a round of applause for that.
it's been an amazing journey.
Internationally 7, it's such a great deal.
Yeah, so definitely it's something you join in high school, but I would just look more into it, and in the next couple of years, if that's something you're interested in, then it's a great idea to join.
So a follow-up question. So if anybody, and they can start in the high school that you said. So if anybody wants to be a part of it, where they can find that information? Is it a website they can just go, or the school sends them to that clubs?
So it's like a club that is going to most likely be at your school, and what happens is during the fall or August of every year, you have something called a club fair, and that's when you sign up for different clubs. So you can sign up for this club through that. And if your school doesn't have that, you can actually start like a HOSA chapter at your school, and it's super easy. You just go to their website and you click on start a chapter, and you just fill out the information.
Awesome, very nice. Srijita, you also mentioned about MUN, that you were assigned as a best delegate in that. Do you want to tell our audience what is MUN also?
So MUN, or we call it Model UN, it's Model United Nations, and it's basically like students that come together and they pretend to be different delegates of countries, and we all kind of work together on certain issues and solve like conflicts that they're all made up, but it's just like to simulate how it is in the real world, and it's like lots of fun. You go to conferences and you get to dress up and you get to pretend to be like
Wow.
different countries, so it's amazing. And at my school we host something called Damun, which is basically people from all over like Texas really come to our school, and we have like a big conference, and it's amazing. And basically I was just nominated best delegate, which means in the committee I was in, I was, I guess, the most impacting, and I made the most change.
Wow, that means you live that life which you desire to live in future, right? That is amazing. Do you remember any incident which you want to share with our audience? I'm sure, because you said it is a lot of fun playing that role plays, kind of simulating all those things. Is there anything which is worth sharing with our audience?
Yeah, so even if you don't really like the idea of like, oh, I have to represent a country and solve like issues and that's all boring and stuff, there's a certain part of Model UN called crisis committees. Basically, it's anything you can think of. It can be a TV show or a movie, and you pretend to be characters in that TV show or movie, and you pretend to like solve issues that would happen in that TV show. So it was really fun because in that committee especially, you can do whatever you want. You can like put people on trial, you can put people in jail, you can kill people. It's really fun. So it's kind of like just a very fun live action game type of thing, but
it gives you a chance to live that child in you as
yes,
well,
definitely.
right? Amazing, amazing. You have so many things in your life. I'm sure you are balancing them well because you are now in high school. Let's talk a little bit about your extracurricular. How did you get into music? And then I remember you mentioned you play almost all the instruments: piano, viola, drums. Do you want to tell our audience about that as well?
Yeah, so I guess ever since I was like a little kid, I've always liked being like playing music and stuff, and it's always been fun. I joined piano lessons when I was like 7 or 8, and then when I got into middle school, I chose orchestra as my elective, and I took the violin. And throughout like middle school, I competed in like regional UIL competitions, and then in high school, there was this club called Trium, or National Music Honor Society, and that was definitely the club that really broadened all of my musical interests, because we would kind of form together and we would go out into different parts of the city and we would play for people. We would play at basketball games at our school, and it was just like a really great time, and I really enjoyed everyone that was in that club.
That means keep taking each step one by one. Every step adds on to your journey. Very nice. It was so amazing to listen from you. Do you have any message or advice for our young entrepreneurs here?
I guess one thing I would say is don't be afraid to do what you like. I know for a fact that if my little like 6th grade self looked at me today, I would never think that I would be here like doing all these things. But you just want to do what you love, and if you do what you love, you're going to automatically take that step forward and become a leader, become an officer of your club. And also another thing I would say is just don't procrastinate, don't waste your time doing like things when you could actually be just looking towards your future. So if you just kind of set aside time every day to think about what you want to do, and if you're not in middle school yet, when you get to middle school or like when school starts, just join clubs, join sports, just find interests in things, because I promise you, when you're in high school, school is going to be so stressful, and if you can kind of use those interests as an escape to get away from schoolwork and tests, it's going to make your life so much easier.
Very nice. I love that. In our audience, if anybody has a question from our guest, please feel free to ask. Yes.
What's the hardest challenge that you faced?
I guess challenges that I faced is there's been so many. Like I can't name like just one, but in general, school is always stressful. There have been times when I felt like I could not take another day at school, and I would be up till 2 or 3 trying to do work, and then I would wake up at 5 for practices, and I never slept, and it was terrible. But that was also partly my fault because I would wait till last minute to do things. So if I kind of forced myself to work beforehand, I wouldn't have this problem.
Yes. Challenges are a part of life, so we should not be afraid of that. But yeah, figure out a way to solve that. Very nice. Thank you. Anybody else has a question? Yes.
How did you balance your time between all these clubs and playing multiple instruments?
Okay, that's actually a really great question. So basically, what I learned is you just have to utilize every opportunity for things to do as you're given. So I had a study hall, and in like during the school we would have like an advisory period where we would have time to work, and most people would waste their time. But if you don't waste your time and you get your work done, that's a solid 2 hours that you have to finish your schoolwork at school. And then when you get home, like you have to stress less, and you can just do your clubs and focus on that. And then the second thing I would say is like have a planner. It helps you so much. Just know when everything is gonna be, and like let's say you have a test on Friday, but you have like a game on Thursday or something. Like don't wait till Thursday night to study for that test because you have that game. You're not gonna get home until 10. So make sure you just kind of like plan yourself out and don't wait till last minute to do anything.
Start where you are, start with what you have, and planning is very important. I always say that. So with that, let's come to the end of this talk show, and let's convey our thanks to Srijita for sharing an amazing part of your journey, and we, the entire team of Success Store, wishes you best of luck in all the things that you do, and may you get your dream college, and I look forward to see you shining there, right?
Thank you.
So signing off, your host Neetu Rishi from the Success Store. We are here to work with the kids and navigate them in their entrepreneurial journey and leadership journey. Be the unstoppable you want to be. The way she is. Isn't she unstoppable? Isn't she?
Yeah.
She is. Yay. Good job. Thank you.